Now I have to find that.
I know.
I'm going to have to find it and make it.
You need to find that video.
I'm going to find it.
That's going to be a post. We're talking about the cat meme where the cat's like playing the piano. It's like, and both the hands just like that with the piano, the synthesizers for the Power Rangers intro. Anyway, welcome to The Power Is On. It's a Power Ranger podcast. I'm Tom.
I'm Mitch.
And here we go. What is it, episode 3, 4, 8, 29?
Technically 3.
Technically 3?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not counting us recycling stuff from our other show.
Yeah, we used it because it applied, but yeah. This will be technically our episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
Our social media is The Power Is On Facebook. And then on X, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, it's The Power Is On Pod.
Yeah! It's morphin' time.
I've added the YouTube and TikTok to it. So
nice. Our secret podcast about Power Rangers.
But in this episode, we're going to talk about Season 1 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
And, like I said, Season 1, so when Zed shows up, that'll be Season 2. So just focus on the first season, the conceptual entity of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Bam, 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 bam. The best is the putty noises. She's about to do this with her finger. Putty. Rangers.
Well, Power Rangers started on August 28th, 1993. Had 60 episodes for Season 1.
I was several months old.
And it ends on May 22nd of 1994. So in those 60 episodes, a lot happens.
It's a lot of episodes.
But it starts off on Day of the Dumpster, where you have like the...
After 10,000 years, I'm free. Time to conquer Earth.
Yeah, the astronauts
Alpha,
released.
Rita's escaped.
But, Zordon Alpha, they choose their Rangers.
5 teenagers with attitude.
Yeah, and then, they do a good job of, like, the Rangers not knowing what they're getting into. Like, they come out there and they're like, oh, God, the putties.
Oh, God, oh, no.
But what I find funny is, like, they show up, they're given these morphers, and they're like, nah, we're out of here. And they go to walk out and leave, like, just in the middle of the desert somewhere.
It's like, all right, what do we got to do?
But as they leave, Rito's like, oh, look, Zordon found people. So she sends putties down to fight them anyways. And that's when they kind of get beat up, and then they morph for the first time.
Then they beat the crap out of the putties, and it's just like they're reoccurring, because the putties never win.
No. Well, except for the super putties. The super putties. They later on.
Super putty.
But they do a good job. In the very first episode, something that was like just skimmed over, that when they take on the powers of the Power Rangers, they already are proficient with their weapons and their swords because it's like ingrained into when they get the power, it's ingrained in their mind on how to do it, which is something they kind of brush past, but it's kind of
it's like I already know what to do.
Yeah,
and they're just like working the Zords and like the power crystals. It's just like
yeah. There's a line between Billy and Trini where they're talking, and basically they reveal like, oh well, the powers gave them the knowledge on how to use the stuff, which is something that is used through every season from there on. Because the people just automatically know how to use their weapons and Zords. But we're going to kind of skim through not every single episode here, but the main key parts, where you see that Billy really gets several focus episodes in those first like 16 episodes before Tommy shows up.
Yeah,
he gets several focus ones where like he's fighting Eye Guy, Madam Woe,
because he's kind of like, I don't want to say like the weakest link.
At the time, yeah.
He wasn't the most proficient fighter.
Right.
He wasn't the most coordinated one.
But he knew how to do all the technology.
Makes you important.
And surprisingly, in those first 16 episodes, there was like several notable monsters that I forgot were there before Tommy ever showed up.
And this is when Goldar was intimidating.
Yeah.
Before he just became a nonsense person.
Well, yeah, this whole first season, he was like he was a force to be reckoned with.
As he goes toe-to-toe with Jason.
Yeah.
I think doesn't he beat Jason the first time?
Well, in those first 16 episodes, you have King Sphinx, that episode. You have Pudgy Pig.
Pudgy Pig!
Where he's like trying to eat the entire...
He's going to eat the world's food supply in 48 hours and cause massive starvation.
But you have Eye Guy, you have Nasty Knight, and Madam Woe, which kind of neat little thing that they kind of reveal in the episode. But Nasty Knight was like... I didn't think about it, but Finster, when he makes these monsters, they're being brought back like they've existed before, because he actually is the one that Nasty Knight is the one that stole the Sword of Darkness from Zordon originally. He stole it from one of the Zordon's like warriors or whatever in the past, and so that's how Rita came in possession of the Sword of Darkness. But just a little interesting fact there.
Little factoids for you.
But yeah, after the first 16 episodes, where it's just the 5 of them, that's when you get into the Green with Evil,
which is like the best parts.
Yeah. It's a good series. But the Green with Evil, it was a 5-part kind of a mini series.
That's like it was 5 or 6 episodes of watching Tommy give them the business.
Well, it starts on October 4th and ends on October 8th, so it was just in 1 week they had the entire thing in 1993. And the first episode is where Rita kidnaps Tommy, and he tears up the command center. So that's like the first time like the Rangers were on their own after they're first getting the powers and all that stuff. Which it's revealed that Tommy can get in because he has a power coin and all this other stuff, which I thought was pretty cool. When Tommy gets kidnapped, he like has to fight the putties in the alleyway before he like gets zapped by Rita, taken away. Episode 2, Rita has Tommy earn the Sword of Darkness by beating the putties again.
Beat him up again. Okay. Yeah, here's the sword. You did it. Congrats. You're level 2.
And that's also where Jason gets captured, and he ends up having to have his unmorphed fight with Goldar, where he's like in the dark dimension. Do you remember like he's in the smoke or like the fog?
Yeah.
And Goldar's like walking around stabbing the ground. I thought that was pretty cool.
That was like some like 80s music video looking crap.
But it was neat that like he's in this dark dimension. He has no powers because Zordon has his Goldar has his morpher. So he's just kind of stuck there. Like, what's he supposed to do? He's just there.
But Jason, out of all the Rangers you could have taken, Jason was the most hand-to-hand proficient person without the power.
Well, yeah, I mean, even without the powers, he put up a fight against Goldar. Now, granted, he couldn't win with no powers, but he put up a fight. Then at the same time, when Jason's captured, that's when the other Rangers have to fight Tommy after he gets the Sword of Darkness, and he wipes the floor with him.
No, it's just 5 episodes of Tommy just beating the shit out of him.
Well, like he has the whole thing where like he stabs the ground and it shoots like this earthquake kind of thing at him and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. Then episode 3, you have Scorpina, like when her first appearance when she's summoned by Rita. Jason continues to be confronted by Goldar in the dark dimension, and then Tommy basically arrives. Goldar leaves. Now Jason has to fight Tommy while he's unmorphed. And then while he's fighting Tommy is when the other Rangers are able to figure out how to teleport him out. And then Tommy basically gets blamed for him escaping. Any input on that?
No, I'm just trying to remember it all because it's just so much.
Tom, you're supposed to research these things.
60 episodes. You know what I've been doing the last 2 weeks.
Tom, it doesn't work if it's just me.
I'm trying to balance my personal life, work, the other podcast.
Personal life doesn't matter. This is what matters.
Just go watch Power Rangers.
Episode 4.
Because in this, like, they go to fight Tommy, and like they're like, "Oh, we're gonna Megazord and just fight this guy," and then Tommy comes in full size.
Well, that's what.
And they're just like, "Ooh."
Well, the Rangers confront Scorpina and Goldar as they're like rampaging through the city, and then Goldar like grabs the bus that has Bulk and Skull in it, and basically it forces the Rangers to summon the Zord during the eclipse when it has no power.
Yeah,
because the Zord's solar powered.
That's a bad design flaw.
But then basically this is when the Green Ranger breaks into the command center and he gets caught. But then he eventually gets teleported out by Rita and grown giant, and that's basically when he has to fight, or the Megazord has to fight him, Goldar, Scorpina, and Tommy all at the same time.
That's not even
during the eclipse.
Don't they destroy the Zord? Or it like falls in like the lava or something.
Yeah, they thought the Zords were destroyed, and then at the
they're just getting lava powered.
Yeah, they say all the Zords like fall into the earth.
And they're like, yeah.
And at the very end of this episode is when they look at the viewing globe and find out that Tommy's the Green Ranger.
Like, and then like they're like seeing him at school, and he's like,
yeah,
with like the green eyes and like they're like, oh.
And episode 5 is where Kim kind of confronts him at the juice bar because he's still there just working out.
Yeah, he's just.
And he has like
Green Ranger kill Power Rangers.
The little eye flash of green.
And he's like, "Get away from me, bitch."
And it really,
I'm working out.
I was surprised in episode 5 is where I thought it was sooner, but that he doesn't get the Dragon Zord till episode 5.
Which was like the coolest thing.
Yeah. He's given the Dragon Zord and he summons it and it comes stalking through and tearing up the city.
I need Dragon Zord power.
The best Megazord summon. Yeah, it is number 1. The Thunder Zords are number 2.
At the same time, Alpha is actually able to get Zordon back, like through science,
Magic. Science!
science. And then Zordon helps the Zords reemerge from their slumber.
Their lava power up.
Then you have the Megazord versus Dragon Zord fight, where that Megazord actually beats Dragon Zord like right off the bat. I was surprised.
Yeah, because like the Dragon Zord had been given the business. Because I thought the Dragon Zord beat their Megazord the first time.
I don't remember it doing it.
It was taking him out.
I don't think so.
Because isn't this all happening while Tommy and Jason fight?
Well, no, they fight with the Dragon Sword, and then the Dragon Sword goes down, and then because Tommy's over to the side, like commanding it. Well, then Jason's like, "Well, I'm going to come down." And then that's when the two of them fight.
And then Jason destroys the Sword of Darkness.
Yeah,
And breaks Rita's hold on Tommy.
right.
Because he demorphs.
Which is really cool. Like you get to see them fight, and you get to see like other powers that you didn't realize Tommy had that he never shows again.
Because there's another monster happening at the same time.
Not in this part.
You sure?
I'm sure. I wrote this down.
Because in this like when they bring Tommy into the fold after this fight, he summons the Dragon Zord, and then they go into the Dragon Zord in warrior mode.
Well, yeah, they just showed that it can do all that.
I thought they fought it. Somebody.
I don't think so.
I could have sworn they did.
I don't think so.
You sure?
Pretty sure.
Positive?
No, not positive, but I'm pretty sure.
Where can I find Mighty Morphin Power Rangers on streaming?
On Plex.
On Plex. We're gonna get to the bottom of this.
Or you can watch it on YouTube. They actually have all the earlier seasons.
Because I've seen the YouTube video 1,000 times.
Oh.
And like the Dragon Zord immediately it goes into like I give you the Dragon Zord in warrior mode.
Yeah.
And then they go to fight whoever the monster is.
I think they just demonstrated right there.
And then the Dragon Zord in warrior mode fucks up whoever that monster is.
But anyways, this is episode 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. And the next couple episodes, to me, kind of like hit and miss. It's when you get to episode 26 that I really remember, when they have the Gung Ho episode, where Jason and Tommy have to go and get like the special like gun things that destroy the super putties. They have to fight Titanus. You remember that?
Yeah.
They have to get up the hill, and Tommy gives Jason his shield, and
He gives him the dragon shield.
Jason gives Tommy his sword.
And then everybody's like, oh, he can do that. And it's like, oh, man, Jason looks cool. But then there's when Zach gets the dragon shield.
Yeah, that's
and it's
later on.
like the Black Ranger uniform with the dragon shield was like, chef's kiss. That was like, they looked at that and went, the gold Zeo Ranger. We're on to something. Black and gold. Write that down.
Yep.
Yeah, black and gold. Write it down. Write it down. Science!
But Jason's running up the hill and he's getting shot by Titanus. He just bounces off, and then Tommy uses like the sword and his dagger to shoot back at him, which always confused me. They're like at the end, they're like, "Oh, Titanus was really on your team the whole time. He was just testing you." So
That's like face palm. It's like,
Zordon, we're in the middle of trying to get these weapons to help fight off these other things.
we don't have time for this, like, for tryouts.
But then at the end of this episode, where they have like the ninja battle, where like there's a ring and Bulk and Skull are managing these two ninjas, and there's like a tournament kind of thing.
Skull. You know what? They had the best music out of everybody.
Oh, the goofy.
Yeah. Like whatever, like you know it as soon as you hear it. There's nothing else that ever sounded close.
Yeah.
You hear that sound and it's like Bulk and Skull. Everybody is like Bulk and Skull.
But in this part, they had the kind of cool fight where
We
like
need that for
I'll find it.
for our sound effects.
But they're like in a boxing ring where they're doing hand-to-hand fights, Jason and a ninja, and then they switch out. It's Tommy and the other ninja, and then they have like the what they call bow staff, but it's like the American Gladiator kind of like staff
With the
thing.
big pads.
Yeah, they fight with those.
Beating the crap out of each other.
Jason and another guy, and then they have Tommy and a ninja fighting with kendo sticks, and then it's dual like 2-on-2 kendo sticks with Tommy and Jason versus the two ninjas, and it's pretty cool, like little choreographed fight.
I mean, Power Rangers is really cool, but once Tommy came in,
Oh yeah,
and it became 6.
yeah.
Because I mean, even, like when like Jason like sways Tommy to like join the Power Rangers, and like Alpha's like the prophecy. It's like the 6th Ranger's back. It's like
The prophecy.
the prophecy has been fulfilled.
But yeah, then again, it kind of goes on a little hiatus of episodes that are hit and miss, where you got
Some
some
bullshit.
some goofy.
It is,
goofy
there's a
bad
lot
guys.
of goof,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of awesome.
The next great part to me is the episode 34 and 35, which is the Green Candle.
That broke my heart when I was watching it because like the Green Ranger was the coolest one, and it's like you flew too close to the sun,
Well,
Icarus.
Rita reveals that the Green Candle like slowly takes his powers as long as
Once
it's
the
lit.
candle burns out,
Well,
that'll be the end of the Green Ranger power forever,
yeah, and it's
which we know is bullshit.
it's in the dark dimension where, and then they end up sending Jason to go and try and retrieve it to stop it, and he has to fight Goldar again.
Like what if he grabbed the candle and went?
I don't know, but
Just saying.
he does that. He goes in there to fight, but then they actually have to bring him back because there's some like a monster or something. They needed help to save the city, so he had to give up trying to stop Tommy's power from being taken, and Tommy loses his powers. Dum 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 dum.
Because it's not till season 2 he comes back, right?
No, he comes back in this season.
This really?
Yeah.
So he comes back as the White Ranger.
Yeah. Let's see. I wrote down one of these. Oh yeah.
Because Tommy was just so popular.
He comes back in episode 50. But the next thing, like they have episode 39 and 40, which is Doomsday 1 and 2, like a 2-part episode.
Refresh me because that sounds really familiar.
Doomsday was actually originally supposed to be the
Season finale.
season finale, but then it was so popular that Saban actually got Toei to make 20 episodes worth of footage that he could use to extend the season. So this was like when Cyclops' Goldar Zord shows up,
Yeah.
and he just wrecks the Megazord and Dragon Zord. He like cuts off the Dragon Zord's tail. He cuts off Megazord's arm.
Is this when they come in with the Thunder Zords?
No, he does this, and while there's also a Lokar shows up, the big guy like head in the space kind of thing with the spiky hair.
I know if I saw it. I know what you're talking about.
But they have this Zord called this monster called Cyclopsis, or no, sorry, Cyclopsis is the Goldar Zord, which it has a bunch of different powers. Like it's got like the diamond on its head where it can do like telekinesis. But anyways, they do that. They kind of they beat it up a little bit, but then he ends up cutting the tail and the arm off. So they have to retreat. They repair the Zords, and they find out that Cyclops' weakness is like it can't adapt quick enough because that's like its whole strength was it can adapt to whatever Zord was attacking it and have defenses against it. And they figure out that if you constantly change, it can't keep up. So like they would change into like the battle mode with the tank turrets on it. Then it would change into Megazord, and then it changed into Dragon Zord with the
in warrior mode.
Yeah, in the warrior mode, and then
Which
it changed
is so cool.
Then it changed to Titanus with like all the guns, and then they end up
The
destroying
Super
it.
Megazord.
Yeah, which is how they end up destroying it at the end. Then after that, it goes from episode 40 to 49, which is the next like important part, which is Return of an Old Friend, where it's basically all the Rangers' families are captured, and they have to turn over their power coins to get their family back. And when they turn over the power coins, surprise, surprise, they don't get their family back. Like they're not giving. Rita won't give them back.
Shocking.
Well, Tommy shows up with to an empty like reunion kind of place where because they're all at the juice bar for like I guess family day or something, and so all the people are gone. Tommy shows up and there's nobody there. Well, then because all the Rangers had to give up their coins, they contact Tommy, and Zordon basically chooses to use his energy to power Tommy so he can try and go get the coins back from Goldar.
And he does.
And he does. He shows up, and like to me, it's one of the cooler parts where he's getting powered by Zordon. He's fighting Goldar and fighting the putties, and then all of a sudden, like Zordon powers him up even more, and he ends up grabbing the coins and getting teleported out. It's pretty cool.
This is what pretty much established Tommy as like that guy.
Well, at this point, you find out the force field that he grabbed that electrocuted him and just about made him pass out actually repowered his powers because it was
The Green Ranger powers?
yeah. So that's what like reinvigorated his powers without Zordon's help. And then the next episode, it kind of ends. The season kind of ends unceremoniously. Like it's episode 60, and The season ends with the oyster monster. I forgot his name.
Oh, I thought Tommy comes back as the White Ranger.
No, that's season 2.
That's what. Yeah, that's what I was asking earlier.
Yeah, but it's some kind of oyster monster, and the episode revolves around Zach wanting to get pearl earrings for his girlfriend.
Yeah, I remember that nonsense.
But yeah, that's just kind of how
This is the season where Billy was afraid of the fish.
Yeah, that too.
That was like the weakest shit I ever saw in my life.
He got bit by a fish when he was a kid.
Who gets bit by a fish?
I know.
Like, Billy, come on, man. Like, we got to do better. You're a fucking Power Ranger. Act like it.
But yeah, this it was all aired on Fox Kids.
Yeah, I remember.
And actually, the earliest iteration of Power Rangers was made in 1986. Like before they actually got made into a show.
Mm-hmm.
It took 8 years before it actually got picked up.
Wow.
So like they actually had different suits that they were going to use but they changed the suits to the newer ones because that's what they wanted to keep up with.
Well, the Mighty Morphin suits were
Yeah.
chef's kiss. Awesome.
But yeah, like I talked about earlier, due to the popularity, Saban got like 20 extra episodes that weren't aired in.
Because I guess a little bit of backstory. Tommy, or Jason David Frank, had auditioned for Jason. Was it Austin St. John?
Yeah.
He had interviewed for Jason. Tommy didn't get it, and he ended up doing VR Troopers.
Yeah, he was going to be in VR Troopers.
Did he get cast in that? Was he in that? Or was he like a bit?
They actually have like a pilot episode with him.
Mm-hmm.
But that was when he was leaving Mighty Morphin.
Mm-hmm.
And then they brought him back to be the White Ranger.
Because they did the Green Ranger episodes, and they're like, "Oh, we want you to come in, like you're going to play this guy."
That was season 2, though.
And then, but he was so freaking popular, they were like,
"Yeah,
all right, well, screw it. He's going to be the White Ranger. He's coming back." Because I remember I watched an interview with Austin St. John. He talks about when he interviewed for the show. And it's like, yeah, we're doing like this kid show. It's karate. You know, you morph, you're like superheroes and stuff. And he like didn't really have a job.
Yeah,
he was teaching martial arts. And like he goes and like they got like a martial arts guy to like kind of test us. And I'm talking to him, you know, about what his disciplines were, what his were. They end up fighting, and the guy told Jason or told Austin St. John, like, go as fast as you possibly can. And he's like, this dude's like ancient compared to me. He's like, I was like, however old, he was like 24 or something. He's fighting this old guy. Yeah. He's like, I'm off the floor with this guy. And he goes, thank God I moved and did full speed, because if I didn't, he was going to knock my head off my shoulders. That guy was booking it. He goes, and they fought whatever like they did in front of like studio executives for casting, and like they had like a choreographed bit that they were going to do, and they did it at like Mach 2, and like they're just karate fighting, and they were just like he was like right there. They were like, yeah, you're in. You're playing Jason. And he's like, that's how I got the part.
All right. Well, that was kind of like the rundown of how the season went. But we'll kind of move on to this next part. What was your favorite moment for season 1?
Well, I mean, when Tommy joins the Power Rangers.
So episode 5 of the...
Yeah, because he's depowered. Jason, with the Z Ranger gun or sword thing.
Zio Ranger.
Zio
Ranger.
Zio Ranger. Shoots the sword of darkness, and it like disintegrates and just explodes or whatever. And it's just like everything you did was under Rita's control. It's like, will you join us, Tommy? And like they shake hands, and like they're watching, Alpha and Zord on her watch, and it's just like the prophecy. It's like the 6th Ranger's ours.
And granted, he was under mind control. They got over him trying to kill them real quick.
Yeah, but I mean, again, he was under mind control.
Yeah,
like he didn't know what he was trying to do, and he was just like, I tried like killing you guys, and like he joins back, and then it's just like whoever the monsters are gonna fight now shows up. And they're just like, it's morphin' time. And like all 6 of them do the morph, and you get Tommy's morph for the first time. Yeah. Where he's like, doing the whole like animation with everybody. And like he's the first one. He's like, Dragon Sword. It's like, yeah! Woo! Yes! That was the best moment of the whole season.
My favorite moment was in episode 50, which is the return of an old friend, where he's fighting Goldar and all the putties, and he gets the coins because like they just play the Go Green Ranger song like as his chest is like pulsating with like color and stuff because Zordon's repowering him back up. He stands up, beats them all up, and like in slow motion he reaches out and grabs the coins. That's my favorite part.
That's a good part
of that episode.
That's a worthy contender.
So moving on to the next part. What's your favorite fight?
Ooh.
What's your favorite fight scene of season 1?
The one I always remember is when Tommy is the evil Green Ranger shows up in the Megazord and just busts in like FBI open up and beats the shit out and ejects all of them out of like the window of a Megazord. And it's like that's the best one to me. It's like yeah, because like the Green Ranger showed up. I was like, I don't care if he's bad. He's the coolest dude here.
I do like he beats them all up, and then Jason steps up and like, you want them to have to go through me? He's like, okay, pah!
Yeah, he's just like, get out of my way. Like, I'm the Green Ranger, damn it. I have a shield, you don't. I'm the coolest one here, and we all know it. That's my number one.
Well, seeing as how I figured that would be your number one, I picked a different fight for me.
That's not even a fight. That's just a beating.
I picked the Green with Evil part 5, where it's the final fight between Jason and Tommy.
That's
where Jason's unmorphed.
Ooh, that's a good one. And Tommy is morphed?
Yeah. Well, it's like it's Jason versus Goldar, and then Tommy shows up, and then Goldar leaves, and then Jason has to fight Tommy, all while he's unmorphed to the Dark Dimension.
Is Tommy morphed, though?
Tommy is, yeah.
Oh, okay. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was really cool, because Jason shows that he could hold his own against even the powered-up people. But
he definitely knew his stuff.
since I knew you would pick the other one, I picked
that. I was like, woo! Like, holy shit. Like, he just threw all of them out of that Megazord.
All right, we've talked about your favorite moment. What's the worst moment?
Oh,
season one?
the Billy and the fish thing. The whole episode.
Get bit by a fish.
Yeah, and he's like sees like the fish, and he's like, like he's like paralyzed with fear, and I'm like, stop it. You've been fighting all kinds of other weird monsters. You could take out the fish one. You got bit by a fish when you were a kid. Grow the fuck up, Billy. You need to cowboy up and get him. And then, he obviously, he overcomes the fear and he beats the snot out of the fish monster.
Well, my least favorite part was episode 25, where they faced basically it's Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Frankenstein? It just looks like a guy wearing like a top.
It's Frankenstein. It's Frankenstein. It's just big Frankenstein.
But the whole
but he
suit,
gets taken out by the Dragon Zord in warrior mode.
Yeah, but the whole suit is just the guy in a suit with like a prosthetic on his head.
Yeah, it's just like
it's like a really bad costume
with the big tail spear shield thing.
That was, to me, that was the worst part. Like, I hated that monster. It was so dumb looking.
Oh, it was so stupid.
It just looked like a guy with a prosthetic on his head.
Are we gonna do worst monsters?
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna do next. What's your top 3 monsters, though? Well, let's do your worst 3 first.
All right, so here's something I saw, because I could read who the top 3 are.
Okay.
But I found, this is from Ranker. This is the top 25 worst Power Ranger monsters that were 290s for words. So I'll read a couple here. So number 1 was Mr. Tickle Sneezer.
The little elf guy?
Yeah. The comment here is easily the least threatening enemy of all time. Mr. Tickle Sneezer was a friendly elf who just kind of like collecting large objects. Come on, Rita. It's like you're not even trying. Number 2 was Krabby Cabby.
Krabby Cabby. I don't remember that one.
Show you a picture.
Was that season 1?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Bro, look at the film. Like,
I think that was Turbo.
Nah. I don't know. Probably was. There's a little dude. It looks like some shit out of Mario Kart. Number 3 was Pipe Brain.
Let's see.
Straight out of a Microsoft 95 screensaver, this season 2 enemy was the worst. Was made from an old karate trophy and looks like a rejected dolly piece. Look at that bullshit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It'd be nice if they put, like, which season? Lip Cincher?
Let's see.
Was Lip Cincher? Was that season 1? That looks like season 1.
That's season 2.
That's season 2, is it? Pudgy Pig. With the giant fork and the knife.
Yeah.
Look how stupid. Pudgy Pig might be the worst monster in Power Rangers history. He's a ravenous pig monster with the power to wipe out the Earth's entire food supply in 48 hours. He threatens the Rangers by crashing a food festival at the youth center. Pineoctopus.
Let's see. That was season 1.
That was like a stupid one.
Yeah, it was dumb.
Yeah, let's see. How high would you have to be to come up with a giant pineapple octopus monster that dressed like a jester and called himself Pineapple the Clown? The writers of this season 1 MMPR episode know the exact answer to this question. Chunky Chicken?
Chunky Chicken was season 1.
Chunky Chicken makes the cut on looks alone, pun intended. But his powers were actually badass. He used a pair of giant scissors to tear a hole in the fabric of time and space.
He did. He'd do that and he'd teleport, basically. He'd walk through and...
Babe Ruthless.
Let's see.
That's the no.
That's the guy with the bat face, isn't it?
No. Babe Ruthless.
Yeah, that was season 1. Yeah.
Oh my God! Look at this bullshit. Babe Ruthless was a giant baseball playing ogre with a baseball mitts for hands, ridiculous proportions, and the name of an uncreative drag queen. Frankenstein monster.
Yeah.
Okay, seriously, were they even trying with this one? How is this not copyright infringement? Photo mare. Before the era of cell phones, we couldn't easily delete photos, so nothing was more horrifying than a bad Polaroid photo. Say cheese to photo mare. That looks season 1-y.
No, that wasn't. It was season 2.
How do you just remember? Showbiz Monster?
Because I researched this stuff, Tom.
Oh, no, good for you. Do you remember Showbiz Monster?
What does he look like? That wasn't season 1. I don't know what season it was,
It
but
doesn't tell me. Eye Guy?
I got season 1.
Eye Guy is easily one of the most ridiculous enemies from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. This classic season 1 enemy is basically a salamander mummy costume covering in foam eyeballs. Also, his name is Eye Guy. Terror Toad?
That was season 1 because he gets like the Ranger's face is on his stomach when he eats them.
Yeah, it shows in the picture. He could turn the Rangers into energy balls using an invisible energy tongue that came out of his horn for some reason, then actually swallowing them with his real tongue. Gnarly Gnome.
What was that one?
It's a gnarly gnome, Mitch, obviously.
Oh, yep, that was the first one. You know how they beat him?
How?
He was invisible. They got him to take off his shoe and switch his shoes on his different feet to where he became visible.
Oh,
They tricked him into doing that.
Not only did Gnarly Gnome cash in on the troll craze of the 90s, he also hypnotized people with his accordion, just like Weird Al Yankovic. Spitflower.
Yeah. No.
Spitflower is just awful. He's not even a flower. He's an insect who eats flowers. And he looks like he was made out of leftover parts from, like, sex.
Well,
Poluticorn.
that was the guy. He was kind of bluish with the yeah.
He looks like Mechagodzilla, but they just, like, went nuts. Poluticorn is a mutant unicorn sent to Earth to litter the planet into extinction. But the Rangers stopped him with the power of recycling. That was number 6. I might as well go through. Shell Shock.
I love Shell Shock.
It's a blatant ripoff of Toka, the mutant snapping turtle from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
He looks Samurai Fan
I
Man.
hated that one.
As you guessed it, a giant samurai who uses a fan as a weapon for some reason instead of a sword. Oh, and he carried around a giant jug with another dimension inside. You know, like you do. Cardiatron.
Yeah, that's like a little.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was from season 1.
Yeah.
It's a heart instead of a brain, and that's legally Robogoat. Robogoat.
Oh, that's season 2. Yeah.
Robogoat just looks all right. Robogoat was the last one, but Robogoat's kind of like what? Oh wait a minute, they said it was 25. That was only 20.
Oh,
I feel cheated. I feel like I was lied to. That's more than enough.
In my bottom 3 was the Cyclops, which basically he just turned into the other Megazords.
Yeah, it's kind of lame.
And he was just all gray with an eye.
That's cheap.
And then you had the Samurai Fan Man. I hated that because it was the whole episode. Kimberly's stuck in this little barrel thing that he has. This other dimension.
The other dimension that he just carries with him.
It's like got nasty water in the bottom. She's just standing there in the whole thing.
Help!
And the one I hated the most because I thought it was the dumbest one was the Wheel of Misfortune. Basically, it was like a spin wheel.
Yeah.
That just had spikes on it.
Yeah.
Like, there was no monster. It had no voice. Nothing. It just spun around, and the Dragonzord had to fight it. It was nothing.
The monsters were really hit and miss in season 1 and apparently season 2.
Now, my top 3 monsters. What was yours?
Tell me your top 3.
My top 3 was King Sphinx.
Yes. Yeah.
My second one was Nasty Knight. I just liked his design. He's the one that Zach had to fight. And then technically, it's not necessarily a monster, but Cyclopsis, the Zord of Goldar's. That was my number 1.
Now, does Goldar being big count?
I excluded Goldar. If not,
Big old Goldar.
He'd be in there.
I'd say the Sphinx.
Okay.
Was it King Sphinx?
King Sphinx, yeah.
King Sphinx. Pudgy Pig. Just because he's just so memorable. He's the worst and the best. He's doing it both.
Yeah.
And I can't. Who was the one who could make copies of himself? It was the girl who had like the weird, like long, like hammerhead shark head.
I don't remember that one.
I remember it from season 1.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was season 1. I hope it's on season 2.
I don't know.
It might be season 2.
I don't know.
It might be season 2.
But I had a couple of honorable mentions, which was Shell Shock with the traffic light on his back.
Well, who was the one who was like good and was just like confused about everything? And
Tickle
like,
Sneezer.
That was Tickle Sneezer
Yeah.
because he ended up like being like, "Oh yeah, we're cool," and like they shake hands and he just like, goes off and tickle sneezes.
My other one was Bones. I think it's like the first monster they fight that's not Goldar or something like that. But like you kill him and he would like fall apart and his bones would just come back together. And
That's pretty cool.
that he had like his own henchmen. Like he took them to another dimension and it wasn't putties. It was like these skeleton looking guys
That was pretty neat.
that he had to fight in his
He's
own.
got his own entourage.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty cool because none of the other guys really did.
But yeah, it was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. But like I said, this was kind of our review of season 1. I took a poll because we did our top 5 seasons pre doing the podcast, like what we already liked. But I took a poll because in that episode we talked about ours. I wanted to see what the community's was. And out of our audience, what do you think was the number 1?
Ooh, out of all seasons of Power Rangers,
Out of all seasons,
Zeo.
No.
Damn it.
Zeo was number 2.
Oh, Zeo was 2?
Yeah, Mighty Morphin was number 1
I figured Mighty Morphin. I was hoping to be Zeo.
with 66 votes.
So Zeo's 2.
Zeo was 2 with 19 votes.
In Space has got to be 3.
Sorry. Zeo and In Space were tied with 19 votes.
Oh,
Number
okay.
2. SPD was number, I guess 3-ish, 4.
Really? SPD?
Yeah, it was number 6. It had 16 votes.
Okay.
Then Dino Thunder, which is the one where Tommy
Then it comes back
It
as the
had-
Black Dino Ranger.
It had 14. Wild Force had 13.
Hey, Wild Force.
That's the one with Forever Red in it.
Yeah. That's a, hey. That's,
Also, they had
that-
Zenaku, which was one of the coolest bad guys.
Yeah.
Then Time Force was, had 12 votes. And Lost Galaxy had 10. And then all the other seasons had like 1 or 2.
So, what about In Space?
Well, In Space was tied with Zeo for number 2
Oh, okay.
with 19.
All right. Turbo didn't make the cut, did it?
No, there wasn't. It actually was close, but Lost Galaxy beat it out. And I just, if it didn't have
Right.
10, I didn't
I
count.
mean, Lost Galaxy's better than Turbo.
If it didn't have 10 votes, I didn't include it in our speech here. But
I mean, what I blow my nose into is better than Turbo.
except for the Phantom Ranger.
Yeah, the Phantom Ranger, yes, was cool. Isn't Sanaku? He's the wolf guy.
And, yeah, and Wild Force. That
And
actually
like
becomes the 6th Ranger.
Yeah, and they had to like free him from the mask.
Yeah.
That's also pretty cool. He looked really cool, and then he showed up and beat the ever-loving snot
He was
out of all of them,
he was-
and then like took like half their Zords, but he already had 3,
Yeah.
and he could make his own Megazord, and he was just like, "What's up?"
Well, he was the second bad guy that becomes good that would play the flute. But yeah, because if you like this, we're gonna do some other kind of things too. But
No, we're not.
We're gonna review season 2 next. I want to kind of work our way through the series as we go.
I mean, best moment of season 2 when they get the dinosaurs for the first, or the Thunder Megazords for the first time.
But yeah, we'll be doing season 2 next time we record. We have a couple other things that'll be coming out in between now and then. So
I'm not gonna lie, nothing sounded cooler than Zach going just like Mastodon Lion Thunder Sword power. It's like yeah.
I mean, I did like Tyrannosaurus. Was it T-Rex Lion or T-Rex Dragon Thunder Sword power?
Tyrannosaurus Red Dragon Thunder Sword power.
I like that one.
I mean, the lamest shit though was like Triceratops Unicorn. It's like, oh,
Poor Billy.
poor Billy.
They could have given him the Griffin and let it be blue.
I know. It's like, what, Sabertooth Tiger Griffin Thunder. It's like that's cool.
Yeah.
Or what? Crane,
Pterodactyl,
Pterodactyl,
Firebird.
Firebird. Sounds cool. And then Tommy had the White Tiger Zord.
It would have been cool if they'd had a Dragon Zord, a White Tiger Zord, Thunder Zord power. That'd have been cool.
I mean, it didn't really matter. But I mean, an interesting bit was like you had like the Dragon Zord. The Dragon Zord can go toe to toe with most people, but to warrior mode, it needed 2 or 3 other Zords.
Yeah.
It needed the Mastodon, Sabertooth, and Triceratops.
Yeah.
Whereas the White Tiger Zord could go into warrior mode without any other Zords,
Or it could add if it wanted to.
and or it could do
Yeah.
the full on. And then you had the Red Dragon in warrior mode
That was actually pretty cool, too, to have him have his own.
with the the spinning hand with the staff and like the cool little swoop back helmet, like he's like a gun, like from Gondor or something.
Yeah.
That was like, that's pretty neat. That's pretty cool.
But yeah, that's what we have for this episode. Tune in. We'll have I'll I'll go ahead and tell you we're going to have like a little special like character focused episodes of Jason and Billy coming up also. So tune in for those.
Or don't. But it'd be a lot cooler if you did.
They'll probably be a little bit shorter because it's just going to be about that one character.
Mm-hmm.
And then
It's just going to be an overview.
Yeah. But
a biography, if you will.
A biography.
It's morphin' time.
But yeah, you know.
I thought that was the outro. You hit the button. I was like, all right, I guess that was it.
But,
Fuck me.
Well,
I don't want to talk. I didn't want to keep talking anyway.
Tune into our social media on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, or Twitter, which is at The Power Is On Pod. I was about to say the other podcast. Or you can join us on Facebook on The Power Is On.
The other show we do.
But let us know.
It's a pornography review.
I haven't told Tom, but I'm going to kind of make our YouTube stuff into a visual medium as well, where it'll have what we're talking about, but then I'll also put pieces of the episodes that we're talking about or the characters we're talking about in the background, so you can kind of see stuff as you're listening on.
Do you have a life other than doing all this?
Huh?
Like, do you have a life other than doing it? Like, how much time is that going to take you?
I've got time.
You got okay.
But yeah, so
just making sure.
You log in,
because our action figures at a couch idea didn't work.
Well, that took a lot longer because I had to take individual pictures and all that stuff. But yeah, just let us know what you think about our stuff on social media. Log in. If you enjoy our podcast, make sure to tell others. Word of mouth is the best way to spread it. So if you like it, share it with others on your social media.
And if you don't like it, we're an acquired taste. Keep listening so you like it.
Yeah, you'll eventually grow to love us.
You'll think about us while you sleep.
We're great.
Goodbye.
Bye.
The world is very lucky to have you, and so am I. May the power protect you, always.
Come back.
Have to be all the time.